How are you doing? This is David W. Williams, also known as Diamond Dave. I hope you had a really good Thanksgiving weekend. Hope that you're still enjoying yourself with friends and family. You're taking some time off, you're getting some rest, you're getting recharged, getting ready to run through the end of the year. What we're going to talk about today is why 90% of day traders fail. What's the real reason why we think they're failing? What are going to be solutions to this particular situation? And if you're a day trader and you're tired of failing, or if you're looking at day trading and you're saying to yourself, what will it take for me to be successful in this particular area so I can get what I want? This may be a good video for you to kind of try to work your way through an understanding. This is not going to be a short video. This is not going to be for people that got really, really short attention spans, but I do think that this can be something that can be very helpful to the right person. It's about getting this information out to the right person as opposed to getting this information out to the masses that may not be able to perceive what we're talking about. Really quickly, because we're in a holiday promotion season, we're still having our sale on the highest paid online options trading academy. If you've been thinking about buying that, still currently right now is going to be the best time of the year for you to go ahead and tap into that VIP course. To give you a heads up, we are still having our year-end Black Friday sale, however you want to call it. 15% off is going to be BLK NOV. That's still going to be the lowest price of the year, because as we continue to add more content to it, continue to add out the curriculum, the price is going to start having to go up as a result of the added curriculum, the added time that we're spending in the program, things of that nature. So what we're not doing is just selling you a course and walking away. We're actually still continuing to give our time to the community, give our time to the content. And that time, a lot of times more valuable than the actual content that you're receiving at the point of purchase, right? So we want to really encourage you to tap into that particular sale. Make sure that you take advantage of it, because after this sale is over, that's going to be the lowest price that you're probably going to see for the remainder of the year. Because what I'm not a fan of is discounting things at an extreme discount. Because if you notice, Mercedes-Benz is not doing the 60% off sale. Bugatti's not doing the 90% off sale. Let me name another company. BMW is not going to do a 60% off sale. McLaurin is not going to do. Ferrari, they're not doing these massive sales because they want you to really understand that there's a value to what they're offering, regardless of the time of the year. And we kind of feel the same thing about what we do here. So I want to encourage you to tap into that. Now, what we're going to talk about really quickly is why 90% of day traders fail. Okay. So why do 90% of day traders fail? And this is something that is a real, real big topic on the internet. And one of the things that I saw when I jumped on the internet was that there was a lot of information around trading, and I didn't necessarily know if the information could help people get what they want. And one of the things that motivated me to do what I do was because I said to myself, there's so much information online around trading. How come nobody's having any success? Because you would think that people would be having success with the amount of information available to people. Free information, paid information. However you want it, it's available. There's a guy that's a really, really successful trader. I follow him on Twitter. All of his information is online for free. The challenge is that you have to actually go through the information, and you got to be willing to deal with the trials and tribulations. And then also, he does not do any follow-up. So he just posts the information and leaves because he trades in real life. He has a family, and he'll tell you that. So he doesn't have time to answer questions about anything. His attitude is that I've given you a repository of information, and that's what you need. But you got to understand is that many people, what they're looking for, they're being sold it. And then when they get it, they get mad, but they got sold exactly what they were looking for. He's not selling anything. So you would expect people to say, well, you know what? I tapped into what he had and I had success. But see, he's not selling what people are looking for, even though, in my opinion, his information is very, very valid. So that's what we're going to talk about. Why 90% of day traders fail. Because many people will try to use this particular point. I wouldn't necessarily call it a fact, but they'll try to use this data point as a justification to try to down talk day trading. And one of the challenges that we have is that many people really don't understand how these things work. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to give you an allegory of this situation, but I'm going to use somebody else outside of this environment to get you to kind of understand what a lot of people are falling victim to, and then they're turning around and they're blaming trading. And so that's what we're going to go into. So let's go ahead and go into that really quickly, and then we're going to go ahead and break this down. Because I think the challenge a lot of people have is that they don't see themselves as participating in what's going on in their life. I think they see themselves as being outside of it. And that's something that we want to go ahead and get into. So you may not know who this person is, right? He used to play ball for the Bengals. His last name is Burfict or Burfict. It's from the West Coast. So you're going to say to yourself, well, what does football have to do with this? We're going to use his story as kind of like an allegory of what a lot of people are experiencing in this space, right? So here's his fines, right? We're going to go through his fines over the course of his playing career. December 2018, fined 53 grand. October 2018, fined $112,000. March 2018, suspended 4 games, forfeited $1.8 million because of the suspension. Because when you suspended, you don't get paid. October 2017, fined 12 grand. October 2017, right? August 2017, I'm sorry, fined $1.4 million, right? We keep going. November 2016, fined $12,000. October 2016, fined $75,000. January 2016, fined $500,000. And suspended and forfeited $500,000. December 2015, fined 69, golden call it $70,000. October 2014, fined $25,000. Okay. November 2013, fined $21,000. September 2013, fined $31,000. Over the course of his career with the one team, which was the Bengals, he lost $400,000 in fine. Over the course of his career with the Bengals, he lost $3.7 million in salary forfeited because when you're suspended, you don't get paid. Okay. So why is this important? A lot of people say, well, what does this got to do? What does football have to do with day trading? What I'm trying to get you to understand is that many people don't often ask themselves, what role do I play in my life? They don't ask themselves that. They see it in everybody else, but for some reason, they can't see it in themselves. There's a spirit of condemning other people's behavior and the person never looking back at their own behavior. You got that word in the Bible to say, when you point your finger at somebody, you got three fingers pointing back at yourself. There's a spirit of holding everybody accountable except the individual person, because we know it's hard to build a market if you're telling your audience that you need to actually be accountable. So there's a spirit of looking at what everybody else did in the situation, but we don't want to look at what role we played into it. So we're talking about day trading. What I'm trying to do is use this person's life as an example, not to down talk him, not to make him look bad, but we're going to get into getting to understand what role does a person play in their own life, whether that leads to their failure or their success, right? Let's keep going. So this guy went to Centennial out there on that West Coast, big time football program. And Centennial, people that's really tapped in know Centennial for other situations. But on the sports side, big time football program out there on that West Coast, right? This guy was a 5-star, right? Big time football athlete. So the people that really understand sports know what a 5-star is. He was considered a blue chip athlete, right? Big guy. And people that really understand sports, when you are a defensive player, you're NFL size in high school, and you actually can move and get there, that's very valuable to a lot of programs, right? It's different between being big and strong, but you can't get anywhere to do anything to anybody, and being a big, strong dude, and you can actually get somewhere to do something to somebody. That's very valuable to a lot of football programs, right? So here's all the offers he had. Only school that didn't offer him was UCLA, Arizona State, Zona, Colorado, UM, Tennessee, USC, Utah, Washington State. They all offered, right? They all offer him. So when you're a big time prospect, this is the kind of attention that you get, right? So he on the West Coast, pretty much the who's who of the Pac schools offer him a scholarship as a ball player. Then they got UM on the other side of the country, got Tennessee on the other side of the country. Also got Arizona State, because that's pretty much all West Coast. Okay. He goes to Arizona State. To me, he went to one of the least prestigious schools, right, on this list. There's a reason for that, right? There's a reason for that. Here's his breakdown, right? Linebacker, scout, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Rivals, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. ESPN grade, 85, right? Overall recruiting rankings, scout, #1 middle linebacker. Rivals, #1 inside linebacker. The second one in California. ESPN, #1 linebacker. This guy was a blue chipper. For people that don't understand what sports mean, blue chippers mean you want to top probably 5 to 10 people, not only at your position, right, but really in the country. There's a guy from Florida. There's a dude out of north of Orlando suburb called Lake Mary, a guy named Keith Rivers, right? When we was coming up, he played ball for USC. He played NFL ball too. He was a blue chipper. The whole country was recruiting him, right? Everybody was trying to get to this dude. So he went to USC on the other side of the country coming out of Florida because he was a blue chipper. So when you consider the blue chipper, Keith Rivers the same way. Keith Rivers was NFL size in high school. He could actually get somewhere to do something to somebody. That's very valuable. A lot of dudes is big. They lift a lot of weights. You can't get nowhere. You're not an athlete. You're just big. Football looking for athletes. At least how to play football where I'm from. We looking for athletes. We just not looking for dudes that got big, strong shoulders and they got big arms, but you can't never get nowhere to do nothing to nobody. So this was a guy who could get somewhere to do something to somebody. You can build programs around people like this. This is why he was so valuable. Okay. But he goes to Arizona State. So we already starting to see that something's going on because out of all these top schools that's recruiting you, you went to one of the least prestigious schools on the list because Arizona State's not known for football. Okay. Now, when he go to ASU, freshman All-American, right? By College Football News, Football Writers Association of America, Pac-10 Conference Defensive Freshman of the Year, right? 2010 Sporting News First Team All-American Pac-10 Defensive MVP in 2010. Decides to go pro after his junior year. Rated 20th best player in the draft. One of the top linebackers in 2012 draft. But he had a terrible combine. Went out in the combine, put up terrible numbers. Terrible numbers on the combine. Right? So that hurt his stock. So he ends up not even getting drafted. He goes to the Bengals as a free agent. So you get a guy that come in at the top level out of high school, go to college, have a decent career, but we're going to talk about some of the issues he had in college. Go into the combine, don't have a good combine, don't have a good pro day, and gets undrafted. So he goes to the Bengals as a free agent, right? So now this is what he did at Arizona State. He had 22 personal fouls in 37 games. You know what that means? It means you're a loose cannon. In 37 games, you get 22 personal fouls. Now, those personal fouls hurting the defense. Those hurting the defense. We trying to get the offense off the field. You getting a personal foul, which is an automatic first down. So you hurting the defense, which means you hurting the team, which means that you a loose cannon. He failed a combine drug test, which means that what? He's a liability and he's a loose cannon. Why is this an issue? You know when the combine is. It don't matter that you smoke. That's whatever. You smoke, do your thing. You do blow, you want to do cocaine, do you. The thing is, you know when the combine is. They don't do the pop-up combine and you don't wake up tomorrow and they say, hey man, the combine's tomorrow. You know when we know when the combine is right now. We know when they're going to have the NFL combine right now, and we in November. Therefore, if you coming out of school and you know you're going to the combine, how you fail the drug test? You know they're going to drug test you. So that means not only are you a liability, you still a loose cannon. So the Bengals signed him undrafted to a 3-year, $144 million contract, right? That featured a signing bonus of $1,000. He got no incentives on the deal. And you can go look this up. It's a website called Spotrac. They break down the player's deal. You see the signing bonus. You see the roster bonus. They do a great job of breaking down the finances and the fundamentals of a person's deal. So he got on the Bengals for $480 a year before taxes, but they only invested $1,000 up front to put him on the team. Because if they cut him or he don't play during the season, they don't owe him the money that he don't play for. So he got to show up every week and perform to stay on the team the next week. Why? Because we don't lose nothing if we cut you. Why? Because we only invested $1,000 into putting you on the team. See what I'm saying? Because you a liability and a loose cannon. Okay, let's keep going with it. Now we're going to go back through his fines while he played for the Bengals. $53,000, $112,000, suspended for 4 games, lost $1.8 million, right? Lost $1.8 million because what happened is he played good for the Bengals. They re-signed him to a bigger deal because the dude could play. Big, strong dude. He aggressive. He hit people. He could ball, right? You don't make the team as an undrafted free agent and end up starting if you can't play ball. He could play ball when he put his head together, right? And we know he could play ball because he could play ball his whole life. So he can actually play the game, right? Fined $12,000, suspended, lost another $1 million, right? Lost $12,000, $75,000, suspended, lose another $500,000, right? Fined $69,000, fined $25,000. Let's keep going. Fined another $21,000, fine $31,000. So we got the fine breakdown. That's what happened on the Bengals. Now he go to the Raiders because the Bengals get tired of him. He go to the Raiders. He gonna change his life. He gonna restart his career. And they over there in the UK playing ball with the overseas game. And he go helmet to helmet with Jack Doyle, right? Helmet to helmet hit. Now those are illegal now. You can't do that anymore. So what happens? NFL suspends him for the rest of the season in week 5. Now, what's the downside of that? We put you on the team. You starting for us. We need you playing. That's why we got you on the team. You get suspended because of something that you can control, not an injury or something of that nature. This is something that you got control over because you can control your actions on the field. You get suspended. So now what we got to do is scramble to put somebody in your position. So once again, you a liability because you a loose cannon. He never plays in the NFL again. Once he got suspended from the Raiders, he never played NFL again. He's a free agent. Nobody picked him back up. Why? Why would you pick this guy back up? Why would you pick him back up? All he going to do is either get suspended or get fined again. And the NFL, by doing this, is telling him, we done with you. We don't want you out here no more. So no team will pick him up because why are you going to put him on the field when you know that he's going to offend again? And then you're going to be without a player, but we got you in this defense based on the fact that you're going to be here. So he's no good in the NFL anymore. Maybe he can go to Canada. Maybe he can play in one of them alternate leagues, but the NFL's done with this dude. He had his run in the NFL, right? He had his run. Okay, so now here's the question, right? Was BURFICT'S behavior as a player caused by the teams he was on? I'm asking the audience, did the teams he played on cause his behavior? Was it the team? Was it, oh, he was playing for Arizona State? Because really he had issues in high school, right? He had issues in high school with this type of play, okay? So was it Centennial and their reputation making him play like that? Was it the Bengals that made him play like that? Then he go to the Raiders. Was it the Raiders making him play like that? So was it the team he was on, was that causing his behavior? Okay, that's the question we asking the audience. Anybody watching the video on archived? Was BURFICT'S behavior as a player caused by the coaches? Was the coaches making him play like that? So the coach is telling him, man, if you don't do this, this, and this, you're not going to play in this defense. Was it the coaches making him do that? Did he feel pressure from the coaches the way he had all those personal fouls in college? He go to NFL, he still get more personal fouls, and the last thing he did in the NFL was a personal foul. Was it the coaches making him do that? Because some guys feel like, hey, if I don't play a certain way, the coach not going to play me. Was it the coaches? Okay, next question. Was it caused by the cities that he plays in? Some people say, what's the environment? So he just was in a bad environment. So because he was playing, he from Corona, right? He was playing, Corona made him do that. It was the environment. Then he go to Arizona State. I don't know what city they're in Arizona. Not a lot of big cities there. Was it that environment? Then he go to the Natty. Was it the Natty making him play like that? Right? Then I think he played for the Raiders when they was in Vegas. Was it Vegas making him do that? So was it the environment the reason for his behavior? Because everywhere he went, he did the same thing. Was it his environment? Let's go to the next one, right? Was it caused by the scheme? Because people that know football can feel like, hey, I'm in a scheme and the scheme making me play like this. Was it the scheme? That's what we asking the audience. Was that the scheme making him do that? See, because we trying to give him all the excuses we can give him to why he was doing what he was doing, right? That's what we trying to do. We trying to figure out what excuse can we lay out to why he exhibited this behavior for a long period of time. So was it the scheme that he played in? Because some schemes are very aggressive and they call for a lot of really aggressive behavior out of their defensive players. So was it the scheme that he played in, right, that made him get personal fouls? Okay, next question. Was it black people and they negative culture? Because, on the internet, it's a big thing to blame black people. Black people blame black people for their behavior and they misgivings and their shortcomings and their inequities. So just random, it got to be black people and negative culture, hip hop culture, something like that. It got to be, that's the reason why he was doing what he was doing. So if he just get away from black people, he won't do that no more. Because, on the internet, the reason why I'm not successful or why I don't feel good about my life is because of black folks. So it got to be black people. So if we just get him away from black people, he would have never did this. So we trying to figure out what's the reason why this individual kept doing this behavior and kept exhibiting this behavior everywhere he went over years. Even as they taking money out of his pocket, he still keep doing it. He losing money doing this stuff. He just committed to doing this type of stuff. We got to try to ask ourselves why he's doing this, right? So that's the question. What was the cause of BURFICT'S behavior over the years and on several different teams? He started doing this in high school. He carried it to college. He did it in college. He showed that it's draft time. This is the time for you to try out for the NFL if you want to play ball. He show up at the draft combine. He show up at the pro day, and he act like he don't really care. Then he failed the drug test, which is really an intelligence test because you know when they're going to test you. So it don't matter that you smoke weed, smoke out. But you know when they're going to come test you. So how do you fail the test when you know you're going to get tested? That's an intelligence test. It's not a drug test. Then you go to the natty. They sign you. They don't invest in you because they know how they feel about you. They sign you. You play well enough to make the team, but then you keep getting fined for the behavior that you're doing. Over the years, you just keep giving up money. You getting suspended off the team by the NFL because of the stuff that you're doing. So you giving money back to the NFL, right? Then you go to the Raiders, get suspended again. And you know they're not going to play with you now. You got a track record. So what was the cause of his behavior? Because it got to be those things that we listed, right? Got to be the cause of his behavior. It can't be, anything. It got to be those external things got to be the reason why he would keep acting out. Because BURFICT was crazy. Like, he would be hitting people off the ball. Like, we on the ball side, and then what he do is he off the ball, and he just fire off on somebody. And they're not even involved in the play. Now, that type of stuff worked 20 years ago. You can't do that anymore. So his real problem is that he was born 20 years too late. He'd have been playing ball in the 80s and maybe the early 90s. He could have got away with that. You can't do that anymore. Receiver come out, a back come out of the backfield and go across the middle. You can't clear him out anymore. That's illegal now. When I was coming up, you could do that. You even do that in high school. Can't do that anymore. That's illegal. So a lot of the stuff he did, it was just outdated, right? He was just born too late for the way he wanted to play football. But you know you can't do it, and they're finding you to let you know you can't do it, but you keep on doing it. Okay. Let's go into day trading, because I just want to use that as an example of behavior in an environment, of consistent behavior in an environment, right? Of a person that's committed to exhibiting certain behavior, even when it's detrimental to them. Financially, they keep doing it, though. This don't make any sense. You would think if you losing money, you would stop. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm committed to this behavior pattern. Even though it's costing me money, I'm going to keep doing it, right? So I just want to use it as an example because the actual situation is way bigger than day trading. It's way bigger than day trading, but people are going to compartmentalize it to day trading, just like BURFICT'S situation is way bigger than football, but people are going to compartmentalize it to football. How the fact are you losing money doing something, but you committed to keep doing it, but it's costing you money? It eventually costs you your career, but you just committed to doing it. You got to do it. You can't control yourself. 95% of day traders fail at day trading, right? Now, there's a little, what I call workflow. I want to ask anybody that failed at day trading, or anybody that thinks that you can't be successful at day trading, or anybody that tried day trading and they failed and they blame it day trading. So let's work with the left side. Were you educated properly? If you took a day trading course, do you believe you were educated properly? Now, if you say no, my question would be, how do you know you can't trade? People come to me and say, David, I want to know how to trade options, but I need to learn technical analysis. My question is, if you never were successful at trading options, how do you know you need to learn technical analysis? How do you know what you need to learn if you've never been successful at it? In my opinion, the way to become successful at something is find somebody who has results in the space, who has been able to teach somebody else this successfully. Results in the space don't mean I got a car and I got designer clothes and I got money. Results in the space is that I've been successful in teaching this to somebody else, and they're getting results, right? But that's the question. If you failed at it, were you educated properly? And one of the things that motivated me to do what I'm doing is when I got on YouTube, I looked at a lot of people and I could tell by what they were saying, they didn't know the first thing about trading. They just was repeating stuff they heard somebody else say. That's why when you ask them this stuff, it don't even make no sense, because they haven't really looked at this, and one, they don't really do it enough, or they took somebody else's information as being the truth on face value. That's why when you ask them questions about it, when they run out of program responses based on what this other person told them, they don't know what to say. So they just start word salad you and talking about everything else except what you asked them. Because if you want to talk to me about trading, you better know how to trade, because I actually know how to trade. I actually understand how markets work, things of that nature. So you just can't give me a word salad and give me a bunch of pre-programmed responses. Okay? That's going to be the issue. If you failed at day trading, were you educated properly? Person says yes. They believe they was educated properly. The next question I have is that, is this the first thing in life you failed at? Now, if you say yes, I don't know what to tell you, because it means that you're an adult and you've never failed at anything until this point. So you've been perfect until now. So I can't help you, because I can't help perfect people. I don't have a program or curriculum for a perfect person. You need to go deal with like the creator or something, because, you know, you on the perfection level. I don't have nothing for you. But if you say no, my question is, why did you fail at those other things in life? If you failed at day trading and you blame day trading, my question is, the other things in life that you failed at, why did you fail at that? Is it the fault of those things the reason why you failed? Right? So you failed at this. Is it the fault of that? Well, when I was 17 years old, I tried this and it didn't work. Was it the fault of that? Well, when I was 25 years old, I tried this and it didn't work. Well, was it the fault of that? Well, when I was 30 years old, I tried this and it didn't work. Was it the fault of that? So the program you're running is that every time I fail, it's the fault of the thing. It's never me. That's your program. So you like Burfict. It don't matter what you do or where you go, you're going to just keep, because that's the program that you're running. Burfict was running a program of being a loose cannon and being a liability. That was the program he was running. It don't matter where we put Burfict, he was going to keep running that program. He's been running that program for decades. And it worked for him. That program helped him get to the NFL. So you ain't going to better tell him that program don't work. But he never got to be as good as he could, because the dude can really play, but he was undermining he was beating himself with the stuff he was doing. But he was so talented, he still made the NFL. Right? Many people, they program they run it is that when I fail, it's the fault of the thing. It's never my fault. So if you failed at day trading and you blame it day trading, my question is, well, what else have you failed at? And then most people, they'll stop talking because they don't want to admit, I failed at these other things and now I got to blame those things too. But see, there's somebody on YouTube or on the internet telling you, well, you know what? I'm going to give you an environment for you to blame these other things for why you fail. But they're talking about it's personal accountability. No, it's not. It's not personal accountability. Because if it's personal accountability, we don't blame day trading. We still blame that person. You failed because you didn't do something right. Now, that's based on the fact that you thought you was educated properly. Right? But that's like me going to learn defense under Tony Dungy. And then I go coach and my team getting blown out. They put 50, 60 points a night on my team. And I turn around and say, well, you know what? Tony Dungy don't know defense. That don't add up. Because he got a track record of knowing defense. See what I'm saying? So that's why I tell you, a lot of times what you're attracted to is not what's going to allow you to become successful, but that's what you're attracted to. And then now you already got a narrative to blame somebody when you fail. Right? But you dealing with somebody that don't even have a track record of results in the space. But you like the person or you like what they're presenting to you. What you don't like is a track record. Because once I know somebody got a track record, what I can't do, I can't turn around and blame them. So I'm already creating my excuse in what I'm doing, because I can say, well, you know what? I went and dealt with this person. And because it was so easy access to deal with them, because that's what I want. Because now I got my built-in excuse when I'm not successful, which is the program that you run it. Okay, let's keep going with it. So a lot of people will tell you, and this is what I say because I actually understand the market. So this example may be over the heads of a lot of people right now. If they keep studying the markets, they'll get it this time next year. People will tell you don't day trade. However, invest in a 401k. That's hypocrisy, because how the market's composed. Right? When you actually understand how the actual equities market is composed, I'm not promoting day trading. I'm not denigrating day trading. You do what you want to do. You got to do what works for you. What worked for me might not work for you, and vice versa. But when you're telling people there's something fundamentally flawed with trading on a daily time span, then you turn around and tell people, well, the way to become a millionaire is invest in a 401k. That's hypocrisy based on how the market is composed. But see, I actually know how the market is composed. The average American does not know how the market is composed. Many of these people that took these tests to tell you what to invest in, yada, 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 they don't know how the market is composed. They just passed the test. If you ask them to explain to you the composition of the U.S. equities market, how is it composed? Explain to me the composition of the U.S. bond market. How is it actually composed? What is the actual market profile? What's the construction of it? Right? They should be able to give you a flow chart of how the U.S. equities market works. Right? Because when I'm invested in the T. Rowe Price Institutional Large, that market don't trade once a year. And then when they close that one day a year, that price is set for the rest of the year. They don't say, hey, man, we're going to trade this market one day in November, and then we close the price. That's the value of every equity in the fund for the rest of the year. That's not how that market works. Right? Telling people not to day trade because there's something fundamentally flawed with day trading, but then telling them to put their money in the 401k because that's how they're going to become a millionaire is hypocrisy once you understand how the market is actually composed. I'm talking about the market profile. How this thing is actually set up. What's the actual market structure that allows us to value these equities or these securities? Same thing with the bond market. Right? This is not a once a year market. You understand me? They don't just do it as a holiday. That's the issue. But the average person, because they don't understand how markets are composed, because it's not like that's something they teach you in K through 12, and they often don't teach it in college unless you're a finance major, they don't even understand what I just said. So now they learn that, well, you shouldn't day trade because day trading is fundamentally flawed, but you should put your money in a 401k. Without understanding is that that's hypocrisy based on market structure and market composition. Let's keep going. So that's like me saying, let me give you another example. Most real estate investors fail, so you should invest in REITs. Most people that's going to go into real estate investment, a lot of them not going to be successful for a lot of different reasons. They're going to go into the real estate investment space and they're not going to be successful. So you know what you should do? You shouldn't do it. Just invest in REITs. The question is, what are REITs? Right? What are actual REITs? Right? Well, equity REITs are based on real estate investments. Mortgage REITs are based on real estate investments. Right? So a REIT is based on people investing in real estate and that investment generating a return. Now, you may tell a person, real estate investing may not be a good deal for you because you don't have the upfront capital. But where you can get a return that is in REITs. So you can take away a lot of the risk of you having to be right on the deal, yada, 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 and you can still get a return in a REIT. But telling people, hey, across the board, you should never be a real estate investor. You should never look to get a return on the real estate market, but you should invest in REITs. Well, what you're doing is you're still a real estate investor. You're just in a different type of vehicle. But you got to actually understand how the market works for you to understand if I'm invested in a REIT, I'm still a real estate investor. You understand me? That's what I want people to understand. When you actually understand how these markets are structured, then you understand what's the best scenario for me based on how my life is set up, my mental aptitude, my psychology, yada, yada, yada. Not everything in this area is bad because why? So many people are unsuccessful. A lot of people are going to fail at real estate. Real estate's not going to go anywhere. It's going to be here when we die. A lot of people are going to fail at real estate. Real estate will be here when we die. This land's not going anywhere. So there's always going to be a value to this land, and people are going to always invest in land. It doesn't matter how many people fail at it. That don't have anything to do with it. You understand me? The real estate market is not going to go anywhere because a certain percentage of people fail at being real estate investors. That doesn't mean anything to the market. It's going to still keep going. That's what you have to understand. But you have to know how markets function for you to even understand that. So the question I want to ask the people that are watching this, like, what do you want in life and what does it take for you to get there? And then what skills do you, and I'm sorry for the typo, do you possess that can allow you to get the life that you desire? Most people aren't trying to learn how to trade because they want to learn how to trade. Most people don't go to college because they want to get a college education. They're looking to get what they want out of that scenario. The question is, what do you want in life? Like, what do you really want in life? And what is it going to take for you to get there? And what skills can you possess? And I apologize for the typo, that can allow you to get the life that you want. That's the only thing you should ask yourself. And then how do you build that up over time? But the idea that I want this life, I don't know how to get it. I try to get it. It don't work. I blame the things I did. I still don't get the life that I want. And then I let somebody put me inside a box and say, well, this is all your life is ever going to be. I'm not saying you should go out here and go crazy. What I'm saying is that really ask yourself, what do I want in life? Because many people, by the time they get a certain age, they're so disgruntled, they're so soured on life, everything about them is a negative. Because they just never was able to really figure out how to get the life that they really wanted. And they're not willing to do what it's going to take to get the life that they really want. So what they do is they just aggregate around a bunch of people that got that same mentality. So they just try to figure out what's the negative news they're going to get today that's going to make them feel good, even though they don't really have the life that they want. And I'm trying to help people get the life that they want. What we got to do to get it, as long as we don't go to jail, is irrelevant. The game is to get the life that you want, because life is very short. So I'm inspired by trying to help people get the life that they want, and they don't go to jail trying to get it. I don't care what nobody else got to say, bro, because they don't understand what motivates me, right? And that's what something I think a lot of people don't understand. And I want to really get people to understand. The goal is to get the life that you want. The rest is noise that you're going to get distracted by, right? The goal is to get the life that you want. Everything else is noise, right? You got to really start to understand that. The rest of the goal is to get the life that you want. Everything else is a bunch of noise that's being created by a bunch of people. You learn this in marketing. We start talking about messaging. It's a bunch of noise, right? And I want people to be aware of people that offer solutions that don't solve your problem. However, you're a solution to their problem. A lot of these people on the internet, their big problem is they don't think they get enough attention. I was watching this YouTube video earlier today. This little white dude telling people he a P, right? And he going through all this trial and tribulations because he telling people he a P. But you know what? He don't care, because why? It's providing what he really wants, was attention. We have a whole generation of young people that, to them, attention on the internet is the biggest thing in the world to them. It's like a drug. It's like crack cocaine to them. They'll do anything to get the hit, even if it's negative. So back when I was coming up, you had to get negative attention in the real world, but you knew people that did it. They didn't care what the attention was as long as they got it. So if it was negative, they'll take that. I just want to get people's focus on me. Now, because of this internet, I can get attention from all these people. I can be the talk of this little sector of YouTube, because what? I figured out how to get their attention. I don't care that it's negative, right? So a lot of people on this YouTube, their real problem in life was they don't think they get enough attention. They'll create any message. They'll say anything. They'll do anything because why? I want to get attention. I'm wary of a grown man that says, I was in my community doing things in my community and being a benefit, and nobody wasn't paying me no attention, so I jumped on YouTube. My question is, why do you care? You a grown man in your community, and you being a positive person in your community, you being a blessing to your community, and you felt so inadequate about life that you had to now jump on YouTube and make provocative videos and make provocative statements just because you felt like you weren't getting enough attention. Something's wrong with you. But this is what we've created in this world with this internet. And a lot of these people, that a lot of y'all that who you're listening to on this social media, they don't have a solution to your problem. You're a solution to their problem. They don't think they get enough attention. So whatever they got to do to get attention, they're going to do. They'll say anything. They'll stand behind any message. They'll jump, they'll flip-flop. They never will stand on nothing. Why? Because what's going to get me the most attention? Well, this week it's going to be this. What's going to give me the most attention? Well, this week it's going to be that. What's going to give me the most attention? Well, this week. And that's just what they're going to keep doing. Why? Because their problem is that I don't get enough attention. You're their solution to not get enough attention. They don't have a real solution for your problem, though, because they can't help you get the life that they want. But you think your problem is that I don't have enough people that agree to me that life sucks. See, that's not my problem. And I don't attract people where they think that's their problem. So I'm on a different wavelength. But I want you to really understand that, right? So the reason why we did this is because I wanted you to understand, if you fail at something, day trading is not the thing. If you fail at something, ask yourself, what role did you play in your failure? I'm not saying it's all your fault, but I'm asking you, what role did you play in it? Because this narrative that is personal accountability till it's something I don't like. And then when it's something I don't like, it's the fault of the thing. It's no longer the personal accountability space. That's that cafeteria conservatism that I don't like. But you get a lot of that. I knew a dude I used to know. He was a cafeteria conservative. It was all about personal accountability, yada, yada, yada. Then in his professional life, he felt like something happened to him in the workplace that he didn't like. Then it became, well, they racist against me in the workplace. I say, oh, we're not going to do that. Because if it's personal accountability with everybody else, and you go to work and you feel like they didn't treat you right, it's still personal accountability. We're not going to cry racism now because it's you. It's still personal accountability. The reason why you didn't get what you want to get on that job, because you weren't the right person for it. We're not going to blame the job. We're going to still keep it personal accountability. And that's that stuff. But see, that appeals to people because why? Most people is everybody else is different than me. When it's me, I'm a special situation. When it's everybody else, it's a standard. And that's just how they run their life. So you can appeal to people on that level because you know coming in the gate, they're going to always see themselves as the exception to the rule, but they're going to try to hold everybody else to the standard. You feel me? So we're going to get up on out of here. We ain't going to be here long. Repeat, Black Friday sale. We're going to run this to the top of the month, which is December 1st, 15% off. Still going to be the lowest price every year. The price will go up. I think I want to stop the price increase at around $2,500. I think that's going to be the sweet spot. So we're going to keep moving up till we get to that particular level. But right now, great discount till we get to that particular price point. Like I said, this sale will be over December the 1st. Then we're going to move on to another promotion. Let's read these comments, man. We're going to get up on out of here. So Black women making money. People want class information, take the information, ask for a refund. Yeah, that happens. I give people their refund though. I don't even argue with people because I ain't got time for it. You know, I refund people quick, they money. Because I don't feel like going back and forth. I seen a trader say you only got a flip phone. I feel you. I feel you. My dad got a flip phone too. He only do text messaging. You know what I'm saying? So I feel you right there. He stay focused on what he got to do. Chastity says, I don't offer guarantee only commitments because most people quit and blame you. Yeah, 100%. That happens. People come in with that mindset already off the gate that they looking for somebody to blame for their situation. You know, and it's very unfortunate because they run their life like that. I used to do an email marketing. We used to do a $19 offer. And I had a guy one time ask me in the email, how do I know I'm gonna get my money back? It was a guaranteed, it was a money back guarantee on a $19 offer. But it was like the what I call a tripwire or front low tier front end offer. And the guy emailed me one time and said, well, how do I know I'm gonna get my money back? I'm like, bro, it's $19. Like if $20 is gonna put you out, don't even trip on it. Because he coming in already trying to figure out how you gonna get his guarantee. Right? So that's the issue. So, but you know, it is what it is, Chastity. You know. Yeah, definitely. It's attention to issues, Erica. It is. It definitely is. But that's a big part of the internet. It's gonna be an even bigger part of the metaverse. You know, but this is attention issues. When grown men are saying that I was very much involved in my community and I just felt like I didn't get enough attention. So I jumped on YouTube. That's kind of weird to me, but that's weird to me. Everybody's different. And I think that resonates with people because they feel the same way. I just think it's very unfortunate that people even have the internet as an avenue to figure out how to get attention from people. They should have to leave their house and go get attention. I don't think they should, the internet should have ever been allowed as like a crutch for people to try to get attention, but we can't do nothing to stop it now because the cat's already out of the bag. But yeah, it's attention issues. You know, it is very unfortunate that people will do anything and everything to get attention on the internet because they feel like I don't get recognized enough. You know, I tell them go get active in your church, but you know, they don't want to do that because that's going to take work. Yeah, definitely. So Black women making money says TikTok takes advantage of young people wanting attention. It's bad out here. Yeah, I was talking to an Indian woman and she talked about how the prime minister banned TikTok in India because they didn't like the platform. GC, what's going on with it, man? So many distractions in the world. You got to block them out as much as you can. Yeah, definitely. You got to focus on what you want. You know, you really do. Because it's so many, it's going to be even more 5 years from now. I was reading something, I want to say maybe almost 10 years ago. And they were saying that the average person, they get broadcasted to more than like a person did 50 years ago over the course of their lifetime. Just because everything's just in your face all the time. It's just so much to get caught up in now. It's just crazy. Erica says these folks out here sour. Yeah, definitely. It's a lot of sour people, you know, but it's so easy to aggregate them on the internet now. You know, it used to be that they couldn't find nobody to be sour with, so they just had to hang out by themselves. Now they can go on the internet and everybody can just hang out and talk about how sour they are. It's weird, but that's just what it is. Todd says, building that in-depth understanding of the markets is what lessens anxiety when you start doing actual trading. It's essentially building confidence in the space. Definitely. And I appreciate that because one of the biggest goals is to get people to understand how markets function. And I think once they understand that, then they can make better decisions around what they do, as opposed to just making a decision based on the fact that I don't really understand it, but I just think I got to make a decision. And I 100% believe that by people understanding markets, it can help them get the life that they want because they can make better decisions. And that's one of the things that really motivate me is get people to understand that. So, Julian, man, appreciate the $5. GC says people trade equities every single day on every. Yeah, definitely. And even if there's no volume on the ticker, the robots trade it. But there's no way to evaluate the price of these securities without somebody trading it every day. But people got to know the markets even understand that. Most people don't know that. The average person even know how the stock market works. Terrence, man, I appreciate the $4.99 super chat, man. Romeo, appreciate the $10 super chat. Yeah, I remember Percy Harvin when he came out. I remember why he said he wanted to come to Florida too. But VA put out a lot of really good, especially that VA area that he's from, put out a lot of really good football athletes. That's for real. Yeah, but I remember when he came out. Chad says day trading is all about consistency and discipline. Yeah, definitely. Discipline, I think, is the biggest thing. Because I know guys that make a lot of money trading on the daily, and one of the biggest things they talk about is discipline. Sometimes not taking the trade is more important than taking the trade. So Romeo says people blame the system for their failures, but it's worse when you get in the system and start looking for a Bentley on your first trade. Yeah, it's unfortunate. People are looking for something, and a lot of people are looking for a lottery ticket in every part of their life, and a lottery ticket don't exist unless you actually go play lotto. And most people never gonna win lotto, and they take that lottery mentality to every scenario of their life, and it's just unfortunate. So they blame the thing. They don't blame. They're looking for a lotto ticket. So it is what it is, but it's just very unfortunate, that idea that my success is going to come as a result of lotto. So they just keep looking for that. And then they blame the last vehicle while looking for the new lottery ticket in this new area. And they just keep doing that over and over and over again until they pass away. So people realize that about people. If I could, it would blow your mind if y'all knew what marketers really knew about human beings. It'll blow your mind. And I don't really teach that to people. But if y'all realize what marketers, we're in 2022. Bro, we've been doing direct response marketing since the early 1900s. I was listening to marketing on the way down. I drove down to Florida from the Metro Atlanta. So I'm listening to this guy named Rich Sheffrin. If y'all knew what marketers really knew about human beings and how the human mind works, it'll blow your mind how much they got y'all pegged. And I think the average human is oblivious to what people really know about them, and they know what to offer to them to get money. I could blow up on this YouTube doing a lot of different stuff. I'm just not going to do that, but I could because I know how the human brain works. I will be way bigger than what I was because it's easy money. It'd be easy for me to take a certain position and just be an actor, and just because people will believe it because they want to believe it because that's already what's going on inside their head. It'll blow your mind, man, what people really know about the human brain and human psychology because they got so much of a track record of data over what human beings actually take to. And that's why I tell people to read the crowd, because you get a better understanding of what people really will move towards, regardless of their skin color, regardless of their educational level in a lot of situations, just based on how the human brain actually works. But most people are not ready to accept that. They're just not, so it is what it is. So I appreciate everybody for coming through. Appreciate for everybody participating. Want to encourage y'all, man. Make sure y'all stay safe this holiday and make sure y'all take care of yourself and keep your eyes open. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments. David W. Williams, also known as Diamond Dave. I'll talk to you later.